Hey guys, SK here, back with another Clash Royale video. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm currently at exactly 7,100 trophies, rank 550 in the world. I'm going to be pushing ladder with 3.0 Xbow Cycle live today. So again, I am using the Electro Spirit. I've decided to try and use E-Spirit primarily this season as my main spirit because of the bait meta primarily. Like, I feel like Goblin Gang is just so overpowered after the buff with the extra Spirit Goblin. It's kind of crazy that such a small change made it so strong, but it really is everywhere. And we do see a Hog Fire Spirit first play, just going to Tesla. This could already be Hog Earthquake, which is not a great sign, but thankfully Tesla will just barely take care of that Hog there. So I feel like Electro Spirit is just going to be better overall. There is also a lot of Royal Giant Skeleton, or Royal Giant Skeleton King with the Goblin Gang, and E-Spirit does help against the Gang and the Skelly King ability in that matchup, although I would still say that Ice Spirit's probably better overall against RG. But anyways, we're going to just Fireball this Musketeer and Ice Golem. Looks like it might be a 2.6, although he does have the Fire Spirit, which leads me to believe that it might actually be an Earthquake version of it, which would kind of suck, because obviously a super fast cycle Earthquake would be terrible, but we'll see how exactly it goes. Just going to Skellies to make sure the Fire Spirit doesn't connect. Against most Fire Spirit decks, you never really want to let the Fire Spirit connect pretty much ever. And I'm just hovering my Tesla, because I know he has Hog back in hand now, and I just want to be ready to play it perfectly whenever he does go for Hog. There it is, so just going to go for the Tesla now, and let's see. He does actually Lightning, wow, so I'm just going to Knight and then Xbow with my Knight. I'm going to take a bunch of damage. I could have gone Spirit plus Skeletons to avoid one of those hits, but I think it's definitely worth it to take this offensive opportunity instead. He's going to Xbow right now. He couldn't go for a cannon on top because Knight would just demolish it, and then I'm going to predict the Musketeer with my Skeletons. Does go Ice Golem opposite. Okay, thank God he actually messed it up. He does not even have Ice Spirit. Gonna predict his Fire Spirit and gonna Tesla for the Hog. Usually I wouldn't recommend doing this, but since my Xbow is already on tower, it's definitely worth it. Gonna log the Hog back to preserve my Xbow, and yeah, I'm honestly kind of surprised. He does log my Xbow off, but it's basically game over already because that is just in range of 2 fireballs in 1 log, and looks like he actually gave up already, so could be pretending to give up. I'm not going to play anything too aggressively yet. Just going to Xbow and see how he responds. I think he might have actually given up, though, because this game is pretty much over. But I have actually gone against a few people lately who pretended to give up, so I'm a bit wary of that. But yeah, just going to try and take the 3 crown then. Looks like it's pretty much over. Even if he somehow plays a Hog or something, it's not like it's going to do much. I have an Xbow live as well, so yeah. Really interesting. Hog Lightning is a lot easier to deal with than Earthquake, in my opinion. If they play it well, it should still be their matchup, but just because in single Elixir especially, if they Lightning, it's so aggressive and they're so low on Elixir, you can really punish them, and that's exactly what I went for with that Knight, sacking 2 Hog hits and then getting an Xbow counter push instead. So really nice win there. Going to put me at 7,130 trophies, breaking into the top 500. Alright, and we are into the next match against Hikari. Gonna give him the good luck and see what he's running today. And it looks like he's a little bit lower than me. And we do see actually another Hog Rider, which is interesting because I haven't seen that much Hog as of late. I feel like it's been a ton of Bait and Royal Giant, but 2 Hog matchups in a row. Ice Spirit, okay, so this could actually be 2.6, like the proper version. Could also be Hog Earthquake with Giant Skeleton Archer Queen. Would be a terrible matchup if that's the case. We'll just have to see. We do see the Ice Golem, so I think it is going to be 2.6. Going to split Archers, cycle back to my Tesla. A big part of 2.6's game plan in this matchup is trying to outcycle your Teslas in single Elixir, so you really have to try and avoid them from outcycling your Teslas, or avoid them outcycling either by cycling super fast yourself or by having alternate methods in place if they do outcycle your Tesla. So for example, I might defensive Xbow Hog if my cycle is too messed up. Like right now I actually might just defensive Xbow. I'm going to Knight to predict because I think he's going to Hog. Yeah, exactly. Like when they spam that aggressively, you know they're about to Hog. And I'm just going to Xbow instead, like I was talking about, because Tesla was too far out of cycle. Kind of had to, and that's just going to be a nice defense still, not taking any damage. Going to try and E-Spirit Skeletons on this Musketeer. Nice, looks like he did go for the prediction log, but actually messed it up. So I am able to get that full counter, and he does have to respond to my Knight as well. So we are pretty much tied. This is, in my opinion, not a great matchup. 2.6 generally, if I had Ice Spirit, I would say it's around a 50-50, maybe 55-45 in their favor, but since I have Electro Spirit, I would actually say it's maybe 60-40 in their favor. I know some people might disagree, but I've played this matchup a ton, like hundreds of times literally, over the years, probably. And with all the nerfs to Xbow, you know, with Tesla being pretty weak now, with Xbow being pretty weak ever since the quote-unquote rework, they can just stall your Xbow forever, Fireball log it off. Just going to log this cannon though, hopefully get a connection, since I did knock the Ice Golem back as well. Well played to him, because he was actually on his feet with that. And like I was saying, they can just Fireball your Xbows off, get tower damage too. It's going to have to switch lanes to the left now. You never want to go same lane against 2.6 ever, because of what I was just talking about, where they will just get Fireball log value on your Xbows and tower. So if you keep going in the same lane over and over, they'll just rack up the damage. Going to log this Ice Golem back. And as I was saying, he's literally just doing it over and over. Gonna Fireball this cannon, maybe catch him off guard. And I think we should get a small lock. Okay, nice, perfect. That's what I needed to put me in the lead right now. And I was really only able to do that because I did Fireball off the cannon. If I didn't do that, even though it seems like a weird play, I would not have gotten that initiative, so it was good. Gonna Tesla. He does actually Musketeer, so I think I have to commit more to this Hog, so just gonna Knight, E-Spirit, and then I might have to log as well, actually. Just, I don't want to take any hits at all if I can help it. And then I'm just going to snipe this Musketeer with some archers up high. Looks like he was kind of defending the Musketeer, but didn't really catch the archers, so that's all fine and well. I'm already back to a Tesla, so I'm not really worried about getting out cycled or anything, so just going to Knight the back. Tesla for the Hog as usual. This is a pretty bread and butter type matchup where you do the same stuff over and over. You don't get out cycled, your defenses look pretty similar all the time. He's actually doing the same thing, outcycling me even in double, so I'm also going to go for another Xbow up high. He does get a pretty nice Fireball off, but E-Spirit should make sure I don't take any damage. And we are still maintaining a really nice lead right now. Gonna Knight for the Ice Spirit, because you can't take any Spirit damage, I would say. It does kind of suck to be wasting a Knight, though. But I just didn't want to take that damage at all, honestly. Just gonna pre-Tesla. So they can go for a Hog. And it wouldn't actually go to the Tesla, but if I push it like that with my skeletons, then it'll go to the Tesla, so that's why it's always nice. Gonna E-Spirit, looks like he actually did hit the Hog, or hit the Tesla rather, and not the tower, which is perfect. It was a good Fireball, but I was ready for it, and now I have a really nice counter push. That's why I played my archers in the other lane, because I wanted them to help out. Gonna Tesla all the way to the right, because this way the Hog won't actually distract the Xbow, and I can maybe get a connection that way. Gonna Knight to block and log the cannon off. He's gonna have to respond to this even more, so he's kind of in trouble here. I mean, he's bleeding a lot of Elixir. I'm just gonna go for another Xbow, archers again, opposite lane, and I might just start spell cycling at this point. We cannot really win against 2.6 in a spell cycle matchup normally, but since I do already have a damage lead, I can kind of hold on to it. And he's gonna Fireball my Tesla again, so gonna log the Hog back. Skeletons just to make sure as well, and yeah, this is a guaranteed win at this point because he's fireballing my Teslas and not my tower, so I'm just getting ahead in damage even more, and I would say that was pretty much a perfect game against 2.6. Played it pretty perfectly, defense was always on point. Again, don't be afraid to go for Xbows if you need to against the Hogs if they outcycle your Tesla, because you just don't want your cycle to be screwed over like that. And if you try and keep always going for Teslas over and over again, you're definitely going to get screwed over because you just have to waste too much Elixir getting back to them. And again, E-Spirit isn't as good as Ice Spirit in this matchup because the freeze is just so much more useful from Ice Spirit, but I'm still glad I was able to win. That's going to put me in the top 400 now, so off to a pretty good start in the video. Alright, and we are into the next match against Shiki Poron. I actually recognize his name, gonna give him the good luck. He always plays Mega Knight bait, I'm pretty sure. I've played against him a few times this season already. Or, I think actually only once, but he was playing Mega Knight bait, so yeah, he's playing the same thing. We do see the skeleton barrel. This is one of the decks that was really helped out by the buff. And wow, he actually goes minor bats and does not have enough for a Mega Knight, so Xbow is going to lock onto tower. I'm going to log the Spear Golem and just keep my archers alive to take out the Inferno Dragon. And that was kind of an awkward night, but I didn't really have an E-Spirit in cycle, so it was a decent punish on my opponent's end. I could have also fireballed the minor plus bats, but Knight was cheaper, and I feel like it was better. The only thing now is that I don't have Knight in cycle if he goes Mega Knight, but I'm not too worried about that either because I can easily get back to one, and it wouldn't really make sense for him to just randomly Mega Knight the bridge or anything. So just going to Tesla up for the Skelly Barrel. This is the exact placement you want to use to counter a Skeleton Barrel. You can also play the Tesla lower if you want to help out against the miners, but this is what I generally go for. And if he goes for a Zap, I'm going to Xbow, I think. Actually, never mind, I have to go Archers, because those Skeletons were kind of getting a bit too close for comfort. He does Zap now, but yeah, I have to kind of avoid taking damage if I can help it. So just going to E-Spirit the back in the right, And I'm not sure what to cycle right now, actually, because, okay, he goes for an Inferno Dragon. I guess I'm just going to Knight. I could have maybe Xbowed opposite, but I just want to play it safe, I guess. Like, this is a really good matchup for me, at least 65-35 in my favor. The only thing that's really annoying in the matchup is the Inferno Dragon. And wow, he's really spamming hard right now. I'm just going to get a Fireball off on everything, though. And that'll be pretty fine. And then I'm going to Expo right away. He just spent a lot of Elixir, so he might not have enough for a Mega Knight right away. And looks like I was right, actually. So he does get the Mega Knight down now. Going to go Skeletons after the fact. And he might zap me off here, so I do have a Knight back in Cycle. Just going to go for it. I should have played it a bit sooner because jump was kind of unnecessary to take, but it's fine. We have a slight damage lead going into double Elixir, but again, this is a really good matchup for me, especially with these spirits. So decks like these are why I'm playing Electro Spirit. This would still be a decent matchup, I think, if I had Ice Spirit, but it's just so much better with Electro because bats primarily, but also right here, it's just so useful against all the swarm. And I just really like it. So actually going to Fireball off the gang. Something I've noticed ever since the Goblin Gang change, 4 go in one side and 2 go in the other side when they split it in the back. So I actually do like to Fireball off the 4. Going to log this set of Spear Goblins off, hover my Knight for the Mega Knight, and then go Archers for this and E-Spirit as well. This is actually getting a bit dicey, but Archers are actually doing a lot of work, so yeah, Archers are very clutch in this matchup as well. I'm actually going to Expo on the left. Nice, he does go for a Gang, which is a bit threatening, but he's definitely not back to Mega Knight right now. Yeah, exactly, or at least enough Elixir for it. So going to Fireball off this Eye Drag, keep my Expo alive. E-Spirit as well, and Skeletons, again, keeping my Expo alive as long as possible. That's an amazing connection. And that's pretty much going to be game at this point, because Archers are doing so much work. And he is probably up in Elixir right now, like at least 3 or so. Yeah, exactly. He played when I was at 7. But I'm not worried at all. Gonna Tesla for the Skelly Barrel, just waiting to see where he played it so I could react accordingly. Gonna log all the Skeletons off. And then I think I'm gonna Expo. Tesla does take care of everything. Wow, he goes Eye Drag at the same exact time. That's really unlucky, because he couldn't afford Mega Knight right away. Gonna Fireball all of this off, and then I think that should be game. Yeah, that's GG. Just gonna Archers, log this all back, and that's pretty much over. Like, I can Spell Cycle at this point. So pretty much a perfectly played game on my end against this matchup. You do kind of want to pick your spots as to when you go in, because if you just go in randomly, you can actually lose. Like, I lost in the last global tournament because I was playing too aggressively with my Xbows, like into an Inferno Dragon cycled in the back, so you never really want to do that. But that's going to be another nice win against Mega Knight Bait, I would say. Really good matchup, and another example of why I'm playing Electro Spirit right now. So that's going to put me 1 off 7,200 and just barely almost top 300. Alright, and we are into the final match, hopefully, against Bryzy. Looks like he's actually a decent player, so gonna give him the good luck. Should be in for a tough match here. And Barb Hut first play. Okay, gonna log all of those. Unfortunately, I don't have Fireball on Cycle. I would show you guys a trick where you can fully counter the Barb Hut with only Fireball. But it's fine, just gonna Defensive Expo, and he Fireballs me back. So this is looking like Elixir Golem right now. Because of the Fireball. If it was Splash Yard with Barb Hut, he would have a poison. So I know there's an Elixir Golem version that does run the Barb Hut with the Fireball. So this is another matchup that's actually kind of important to know. Yeah, there's the Battle Healer, because this deck has kind of made a resurgence ever since the Barb Hut buff. I've seen Zodiac, one of the best E-Golem players, actually playing Elixir Golem Barb Hut to quite a lot of success on top ladder. And he told me that he thinks it's quite a nice buff. Also, Elixir Golem was one of the cards that also got buffed in the balance changes. So, wow, that's really unfortunate that the Tesla doesn't lock on. I feel like it literally looks like it should be on the Battle Healer right now. But gonna take a nice Fireball on the Baby Dragon and the Barb Hut. And like you saw right there, that's exactly the Fireball you want to hit on the Barb Hut. You want to hit all 3 Barbs as well as the Barb Hut. And then the new Barb that will spawn is only 1, so it'll get fully countered by your tower. Because if you guys have seen a Barb Barrel from their side crossing the river, you'll know that 1 Barb gets fully countered by your tower. So that's how you fully counter the Barb Hut. Gonna Expo opposite. Should be at about 6 Elixir right now. Does go E-Golem, but doesn't have a Electro Dragon for my push, so they should actually lock on. Okay, nice Heal Spirit played by him, actually. It did actually throw off my log as well. And I sadly don't have the right cycle to activate King off the E-Drag, so I'm just going to go Skeletons instead to distract it a bit. I could actually Expo again. That's the beauty of going in, where against E-Golem, where you get a huge surge of Elixir against the blobs. Gonna Fireball off all of this, and then it will force another response out. And yeah, it does get the Battle Healer forced out. So I'm going to go for a Tesla. This is honestly kind of a tricky matchup, I would say, because Electro Dragon is so good against archers. Going to log that off, hopefully get a small connection. Nice, we do get a tiny lock, which is great. And Tesla should fully take care of this Electro Dragon. Going to keep my Tesla alive with the E-Spirit and actually go in once again, getting my Fireball ready for the Barb Hut. Looks like he goes for the E-Golem instead. Probably the better play, because definitely would have locked on if he went for the Barb Hut. I'm just going to Fireball all of that off. I think I do have to log as well. And Baby Dragon is going to be alive, but going to Fireball, or going to Expo rather now. Have to get back to a Fireball, and then hopefully I hit at least 2 of the barbs. Okay, I actually only hit 1. That's a bit unfortunate. But this should lock on unless he gets the Heal Spirit down. Nice, so that's a really important lock. I kind of needed it because I feel like if you don't have a damage lead going into triple against this matchup, you're kind of screwed, because this is kind of a hard matchup to defend against in triple. Like, they get 2 Elixir Golems down in both lanes. They have E-Drag NATO for your archers, and then you just kind of get screwed over and overwhelmed. Battle Healer does heal up the E-Drag a bit. They're going to get back to a second Fireball right here if I can help it. So going to go for a log, low archers, and I'm back to the Fireball. So going to Fireball right now. And E-Drag does get taken out. That's actually pretty much perfect. Nice. That's exactly how you want to defend. You want to get insane Fireball value if you can get it. And one really nice thing you can do is Fireball the E-Drag on their side, because then 2 Fireballs does kill the Electro Dragon. That's like the only way you can kill an Electro Dragon, if it's supported by a ton of stuff with 2 Fireballs. And it's a huge overcommitment. But if you can get a value against other stuff, it can be worth it. Like, I got value against the E-Golem, against the healer as well in that time. So I'm going to Fireball once again. Log all of this off, back to a new pair of archers. So you always kind of want to stack archers, I would say, even though, again, E-Drag NATO does kind of destroy them, because you can get a new pair. Gonna Expo, Fireball off this Barb Hut, and try and get a small connection if I can help it. And yeah, he's probably coming prepared, so I'm just gonna let the Expo die, set up with a Tesla on defense, and now this is the true test of my defensive capabilities. Gonna have to hold off against the E-Golem pushes in triple. Let's see if I can do it. So gonna Knight first, stack archers again, Fireball off the Barb Hut right away. I know I'm not hitting the tower, so I might be falling behind a little bit, but it should be okay, because I can get back to another Fireball pretty soon. And I also have like a 700 damage lead right now. So that's a ton of Fireball value. I'm definitely going to take it. There's the second Elixir Golem coming down. So first Fireball down. Going to get a nice Tesla, or get a nice log rather, after the blobs get damaged a bit. Back to new pair of archers. Back to another Fireball. Going to Fireball everything off. And I'm back to another Tesla as well. So just going to go for that. And he actually got my tower down pretty low. But I think if I just get a Fireball off, we should win. It's going to go Knight. And nice, we just barely won by about 500 HP. If you got a Fireball down, we still would have won, so that's really nice. Pretty much how you want to play that matchup. Pretty proud of how I played it, and hopefully it helps you guys as well, because this matchup has been kind of common coming into the new meta again. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. That's going to put me exactly top 300 in the world. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.